Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're a first-time viewer, it's great to have you here. I'd just like to give a quick shout out to Jodie Davenport and Barbara. These are two subscribers of mine who have been kind enough to comment on my videos in the past. I really appreciate your input. Thank you very much. And I'd also like to take this opportunity to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed to my channel so far. Everyone who's viewed my videos and everyone who's been kind enough to put a like. It really does mean a lot to me when people give me some kind of interaction on the channel. So I really appreciate it. So thank you to everybody. So today, something a little bit different, I've not done this on the channel yet. So this is a bit of a first. We're going to be doing a quick TBR. For those of you who are not steeped in the lore of Booktube, TBR means to be read. So that means, obviously, self-explanatory, really. First up, we have a bit of a mix here, a bit eclectic. We have this. Underworld London, Crime and Punishment in the Capital City. So this promises to be an interesting read. I love history. And, the more macabre side of history obviously does attract me. I think it attracts a lot of people. This is obviously about crime and punishment in the capital city of England, which is London. Bit of a geography lesson there. I'm actually from London, so this has a special place in my heart. It says, from the cut purse to the craze. There'll be more on the craze in a future episode, so I'm not going to go on about them now. So yeah, this promises to be an interesting read. I'm particularly interested. It's kind of a macabre interest. I'm particularly interested in crime and punishment, that kind of thing. Okay, next up, we have got Elevation by Stephen King. I've had this book for a while now. I do tend to buy books vastly in advance, so I've got a lot of books in my library that I haven't actually read. So Stephen King's Elevation, it's a relatively recent book. I know he's probably released a good 6 books since this one came out, but Elevation, it's one of his more recent books. I don't really know a lot about it, to be honest. I know that it's supposed to be kind of his take on It's a Wonderful Life. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. I've read kind of mixed reviews on this, so I'm kind of not sure what to expect. I usually love anything Stephen King writes, so looking forward to reading this. Next up, we've got probably the heaviest hitter on this list, and that is The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. I actually read The Handmaid's Tale not that long ago, and I thought it was an extremely good book, just extraordinarily well written, an excellent story, just 10 out of 10. I don't know why I'm arbitrarily using 10 out of 10. It was an excellent book. I believe I've done a video about the Handmaid's Tale right here on this channel, and if you haven't watched it, you would do well to watch it, because even if I say so myself, it is a masterpiece of YouTube craftsmanship. So The Testaments. I'm kind of nervous about reading this because The Handmaid's Tale was so good. I mean, it's such a good book, such a great read. I'm kind of nervous about reading this, not because I think it'll be bad. It's just that, there's a part of you that hopes that it's going to measure up to the original, or maybe even surpass the original. But this one, like I say, this is probably the heaviest hitter on the list, because this is the one that I'm most anticipating reading, and the one that I'm most nervous about reading, if I'm honest. Next up, we have another Margaret Atwood, the Penelopiad. Penelopiad, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. It's quite a while. I've had this book for quite a while on my shelf. I bought it along with The Handmaid's Tale, but I haven't read it yet. I don't really know what to expect. I haven't read the cover blurb, but I suppose it might be something. It's going to be something connected with Penelope from Greek mythology. Perhaps something connected with the Iliad. There'll be some Greek mythological reference around it, or some structure around it. So yeah, again, I'm looking forward to this, but I don't know what to expect. Next up, we have The Redemption by William Peter Blatty. So I've read The Exorcist. I've read Legion. I've tried to read The Ninth Configuration, but I had to DNF it because, if I'm honest, it was boring me a bit. This one is, I think it's a departure from his other books because I don't, from what it says on the cover blurb, it seems to be more about it seems to be more of a thriller. It seems to be more, cloak and dagger thriller kind of things. So I'll be honest with you. That's probably, I'd probably prefer a more supernatural bent to the story. There might be some supernatural element to it, but I don't know. I've got to give it a read. I would say that William Peter Blatty is a superb author, and I think that The Exorcist is an absolutely superb horror book, and an absolutely great read, even if you're not a particular fan of horror. I would definitely recommend it to anyone. Last up, we've got an offering from Joe R. Lansdale. So this one just sounds absolutely insane. It's called Flaming Zeppelins. And I believe The Adventures of Ned the Seal. So there's kind of a mishmash of different literary characters whose copyright has run out. I see the name Dr. Moreau here, for example, and also some historical characters such as Sitting Bull, and then there's Annie Oakley and Frankenstein. This promises to be an insane read. Joe Lansdale, he's one of those authors who writes just across the board. He can do everything. And I haven't, from the books of his I've read so far, I've read a couple of novels and some anthologies. He's a really, really superb author, and he's very imaginative. He's really got the gift of writing. So this does sound insane, but that sounds like par for the course for Joe Lansdale. So anyway, that's my brief TBR. I have to say these are not the only books on my TBR. I do have a lot of books that I haven't yet read. I like to buy books in advance. Sometimes I've had up to like 150 books to be read. I'll buy a book sometimes and I won't read it for years. But anyway, I don't need to bore you with that. That was my TBR. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or death threats, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to tune into my next video when you, the viewers of this channel, will have the unparalleled opportunity to win $158 billion. See you then.